How's it going? This is Nicholas McMillan with OTech Services. So, wanted to have a quick conversation today about the importance of fixturing and the fixture blocks around the Swagelok M200. Now, I got to be honest, I'm a little biased with the M200. It's one of my favorite systems. I know it very well. So, as we already know, the weld schedule development screen and the weld schedule or the pre-weld schedules that are already in the M200 are some of the best out there. I'm very fond of them. So we had a customer that's been running into some trouble with doing some microfit welding, and we showed them that their cowlets were worn out. So it prompted me today to have a little bit of a discussion around what's the importance around fixturing. And right here, I'm getting ready to go ahead and make a weld. I already have the fixture block set up and everything's ready to go. But I, again, want to point out that when we're setting up these fixture blocks, we want to make sure that our axial and angular alignment is in check and is correct, that our collets are nice and tight and are not worn out. We want to go through them and clean them very thoroughly for any vapor deposition or that smog that builds up from the welding process. Even though this is an orbital weld process and it's very clean, you still get that residue that's left over from the plume or the vapor deposition, we call it, through the welding process. So making sure it's clean, everything's nice and tight, everything is, again, has its axial and angular alignment is correct. This is very important when we're talking about microfits and VCR fittings because they're already machined to a very specific size and dimension. So if any of the alignment's just a little off, the weld is not going to be very good, or you may even get a hole or a blowout. So I'm going to go ahead and fire up the M200, do a weld, and everything should turn out right if I held what I said you should be doing. Again, I have my machine set up for 20 seconds of purge. I like to call that 20 seconds of mercy. Gives me a chance to hit the stop button if anything is incorrect or there's nothing I don't like. So I've already took it upon myself to check the magnehelic gauge, which means I've checked the inches to water column or the internal ID purge pressure. As you'll hear me say in a lot of our videos or in a lot of our teachings, the internal purge pressure is tremendously important when doing orbital welding. It gives us the good profile. It would, prevents any of the convexity or concavity. Love the sound of that. Again, very biased. M200 always has a very special place in my heart. So once this post-purge is done taking place, we'll go ahead and check it out and see what we got. All right. So we'll go ahead and exit out of that. Go ahead and dismount our 5H weld head. And I always like to set the 5H weld head up here in these handles that are built into the M200. It's almost like a good setting place for the weld heads. And there you have it.